I think it's about time. I finished up my computer build that I started in, I can't even remember what month of last year. And those of you who've been following me closely probably recognize this to be the 1080? Hello? 4080 Super that I had my eyes on for such a long time. At least I hope it is. This card is one that I got on eBay because they're no longer in production and I can't buy them from normal sellers anymore, normal retail outlets. So this was really my only option, and it wasn't cheap, and it definitely wasn't as cheap as it was when I was first looking at it. But half the reason I'm doing this video is for insurance purposes, such that if what's in this box is not in fact the why do I keep saying 1080? The 4080 Super that was depicted in the eBay listing that I have video evidence. The other reason I'm making this video is to thank all of you who contributed to the GoFundMe campaign that I set up for the express purposes of raising money for this card, with the end goal of being able to produce better content more quickly. In particular, I would like to thank Mike R. and Mark L., as well as all of you who chose to remain anonymous in your GoFundMe contributions. I am going to have to turn the camera down here so that we can see all of the contents of the box. I watched a video by, let me see, what was his name? Tech Lens. I will leave a link to it in the description, providing some general tips for buying used graphics cards in particular, and I guess buying anything secondhand in general that's of significant value. One of those things being to document the whole unboxing process, such that if there's anything in the box that is not consistent with the original listing or consistent with what you paid for, then you have, again, more leverage as a buyer to make a claim against that seller. So let's hope that we get what we paid for. I don't have enough space on my desk, man. I mean, this desk is freaking huge. This box is also freaking huge, which is a good sign, if not for all of this bubble wrap on this side. So what I got, I understand, according to the seller's listing, is a GPU out of a Lenovo Legion pre-built machine that was never used. So it's not like in its original box or anything. So I don't know how they will have packed it here. I'm hoping it's in some static packaging. Another look at the package here, which is quite long, but in the general shape of a GPU. Also a good sign. This card might be a lot larger than I anticipated, and that could pose a problem. This card is also pretty nicely designed, in my opinion. I mean, it's nothing like splashy or anything, but that's kind of what I was going for. Jeez, this thing is big. Current GPU I have is a 980 Ti, and that is significantly smaller. Not to mention that it only has one fan as opposed to 3. So, as far as I can tell, it was packed in a way that would negate all shocks and bumps that would come along with the shipping process, so that's a good sign. This thing is a monster. I'm legitimately worried about this fitting in my computer. I'm not sure how much the form factor of these cards differ from manufacturer to manufacturer. Tape here that I can't actually see that's preventing me from opening it all the way. There we go. Holy shit. This is actually a really nice choice. This, like, it's nothing more than it needs to be as far as design goes. The fans go on the, I assume the fans go on the bottom if the type is facing this way. I guess I'm gonna have to test it out to see if it actually works before I say anything else. But the unboxing process went smoothly, so that's a great first step. I don't see the need to share the installation process or the benchmark testing that I'm going to do on this on YouTube. So I'm going to cut things off here. I want to thank all of you again who contributed to this card in particular through the GoFundMe campaign, as well as those of you who have contributed elsewhere. I have a shop that's linked from my YouTube channel that quite a few people have bought some shirts from, which I really appreciate. You best bet that all of those funds are going directly to this card as well. At any rate, I am itching to get this thing in my computer. Sorry, this is my little desk companion that I have that decided to fall into the frame. So he's a little top heavy. I'll forgive him this time. Stay. With all that said, I'm excited to get this thing in my machine and up and running and start testing out some of the programs that have been kind of dragging their feet with the 980 Ti I have in my machine. Obviously, video editing is one of those that will benefit from this significantly, but also 3D modeling, especially as it relates to 3D printing, is another thing that I've been doing a lot of recently, as well as gaming. I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to do some casual gaming live streams at some point. I don't know what games that will entail just yet, but up until now I haven't had the resources to do that, to play some of the more resource-intensive games and stream at the same time. In fact, I haven't even really tried. So, like I said, you can look forward to better and more frequent content as it's made possible by this piece of hardware coming in the near future. Thanks, and see you all again soon.